and welcome to the program. This edition of Newsroom series covering Nigeria's Northeast. I am Bukola Koka. And first, we begin in Adamawa as the implementation of the World Bank-supported program that targets out-of-school adolescent girls to acquire qualitative education reaches a critical stage. Stakeholders have keyed into it to ensure effective outcomes. The latest step is the engagement and sensitization of principals of senior secondary schools and others on life skills, which form an important component of the program tagged Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment, Agile.
In Nigeria, there are 18.5 million children out of school, 60% of whom, more than 10 million, are girls. This data was given by head of the UNICEF office in Kano, Rahama Farah, on August 13, 2024, with adolescent girls making up the majority. This meeting, attended by principals and school management committees, focuses on enlightening them about the critical components of the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment Agile program. The focal person, Siddiqui Liman, outlines the program's key elements, while the State's Commissioner for Education, represented by the Permanent Secretary Aisha Umar, highlights that around 3,000 girls will benefit, emphasizing its significant impact on education and empowerment.
Initially, there were 7 states being called the barren states across the country. When they noticed the impact of the intervention of the adolescent girls, it was now scaled up to 11 states, which Adamawa is one. So on that note, I think we should all join hands together to see that Agile have succeeded in Adamawa State too. We want to be, if not one, to be among the first 1 to 3.
The girls that will be given the second chance, girls that were dropped out from school because of early pregnancy, early marriage, poverty, they will have the second chance to go back to school. Not just going back to school to have education, but to have something that they will depend on for the rest of their life.
Stakeholders at the event commend Governor Umaru Fintiri of Adamawa State for supporting this unique World Bank intervention, expressing their enthusiasm for the program's success.
This time around, perhaps a standing ovation to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Adamawa State, for fulfilling his own part of the bargain. And that is why Agile is on ground, and that is why all of us are here.
The government has deemed it fit to see that the girl child is encouraged, the girl child is helped, the girl child is brought back to the place of knowledge, understanding, such as she can be able to be a relevant person in the community.
The Agile program is being implemented in 18 states across Nigeria, with a significant focus on the Northeast, which has faced several disruptions in education due to conflicts and insurgency.
The Taraba state government, in collaboration with the Northeast Development Commission, is taking proactive measures to mitigate flood and avert waterborne diseases in the state. The commission and the state government say they will do all things possible to ensure that more deaths are not recorded in Taraba by ensuring a safe environment for all.
Taraba State in northeast Nigeria has recorded 7 deaths in 8 local government areas, leading to the destruction of farmlands, houses, businesses, and livelihoods. Almost every year, the state records pockets of flooding, and this has necessitated a collaboration with the Northeast Development Commission to inspect waterways, order its clearance, and avert recurrence going forward. The state government engaged over 10,000 sanitation staff, and this is expected to ensure proper waste management and flood preparedness.
With the initiative of the Commissioner for Commissioner for Environment and Climate Change, and Northeast Development Commission. If you can see, the market now is now becoming a story. We are calling on the people to see how the governor is engaging himself to give them clean environment. So the people that should give the governor 100% support for Taraba to be clean.
The Northeast Development Commission has engaged the services of consultants across the 6 states in the region to ensure that the waterways are not blocked and to ensure safe environment by averting flooding and waterborne diseases.
The management of NEDC decided to engage consultants across the 6 states to clean up all the drainages, culverts, to make sure that people do not dump waste anyhow to free from flooding. Last 2 months or last month, there was a flood here where we are standing here. It was a terrible experience. I was here with the Honorable Commissioner. So that is why we decided to start here. And we are doing it across the 16 local governments, not only in Jalingo.
The state government is partnering with the Commission for the evacuation of the waterways and has commenced planting of over 10 million trees across the 16 local government areas of the state to combat climate change.
Yes, I want to call on Tarabans to dispose and manage waste properly in the right channel. They should be aware that the wastes are not supposed to be thrown into the drainages because they block waterways, and as such it causes environmental hazard to the society. So I want to call on Tarabans to please desist from disposing waste within the drainages.
The state government is not leaving anything to chance in its efforts to manage the impact of this year's flood by increasing the awareness campaign.
The Northeast Development Commission is planning to review the contract for the rehabilitation of the Alau Dam in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. The managing director of the commission, Mr. Mohammed Alkali, stated this during an assessment of the impact of the recent flood on some of the ongoing projects in the state. Mr. Alkali explains that the review is necessary in view of the damage done to the dam by the flood.
The management of Northeast Development Commission are assessing the impact of last month's flood on some of the ongoing projects in Borno State.
Of an entirely new channel, that is like one.
The Alau Dam, which is responsible for the flood, is one of the projects visited.
As you are aware, there are 3 dikes.
Before the incident, the Commission had awarded about 1.2 billion naira for the rehabilitation of the project to address some identified threats.
Exit and then go to the river.
However, the leakage from the dam and the subsequent flood has necessitated a review of the project.
Our project site was just the spillway, but now just adjacent to it, we have a new channel of water. That was a major problem. So, and it's just by the side. So definitely you cannot start to do something here while you have a new opening, even by the adjacent, directly adjacent to it. So definitely this have to be on hold, and then until comprehensively we check everything and then see, okay, whether it's to continue with this one or whether to add the entire problem and then rescope it.
The managing director of the commission then ordered the immediate reassessment of the contract to reflect current realities.
We are here about 2 or 3 times, as well as the Jerebo roads. That means the commission is under very serious contractual transaction on the construction of the roads and rehabilitation of this spillway. You know, each contract carries some terms of reference, but unfortunately in this occasion we have some kind of a force majeure which affected or will affect both the contracts and other contracts as the case may be. So we're here today to assess what has happened after the flooding and see how it affects the general conception of the project and to devise some way forward.
The NEDC team also inspected ongoing projects like the Jere Ring Road, which connects agrarian and fishing communities in Jere and Mafa local government areas.
And still to come on the program, Teachers in Bauchi State, well, we'll take that now and later on. Teachers in Bauchi State have expressed appreciation for the introduction of the Accelerated Senior Secondary Education Program, owing to its innovative approach to education. This appreciation was voiced during an engagement with the project implementation team and education stakeholders in the state. Our correspondent Hajara Alau reports.
4 months after the launch of the Accelerated Senior Secondary School Education Program, ASEP, the federal government's implementation team meets with the stakeholders in Bauchi State to assess the project's progress and future direction.
From Nigeria's northeast region.
ASEP is a collaborative initiative between the federal government and the Northeast Development Commission aimed at enhancing educational outcomes in the Northeast region.
From the data, only about 19% of students who start from primary school make it to secondary school. Now, if we don't have a critical mass, we would not have enough of doctors, architects, teachers that would transform or develop anywhere. So it's important that we felt it was important to intervene at this point.
A key aspect of the program is the Black Belt teacher training, and during the meeting, the education stakeholders deliberate on the program's objectives, achievements, challenges, and sustainability. Various educators share their experiences and insights.
The 1 million teachers has helped me to sit at my convenience, and I was enlightened, I gained knowledge, which is now helping me to change the method, the way I'm thinking, and how I'm teaching my students now.
If this program was achieved, it had to go to the community, where you have these out-of-school children and catch them at the primary level.
The Bauchi State Commissioner for Education reaffirms the state government's commitment to ensure the successful implementation of ASEP.
We have the highest association of these stakeholders, the principals, then the anchors here, the teachers, that is the academic union of staff. So I believe this is a very good stakeholder mix that will take this engagement forward.
The stakeholders express optimism about the potential impact of the Accelerated Senior Secondary School Education Program on the educational system in the Northeast, emphasizing the importance of continued collaboration between the federal government, the Northeast Development Commission, and local authorities to overcome challenges and ensure the program's long-term success. Hajara Alau, Channels Television News.
Welcome back. So we're staying with the education sector in Bauchi State as we seek to know more about the Accelerated Senior Secondary Education Program. And joining us to give us more insight on this is the Commissioner for Education in Bauchi State, Mrs. Jamila Dahiru. Hello and welcome to the program.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I'm curious, what's different about the innovative approach deployed in ASEP? And more importantly, what measures are you taking to ensure the success of this project and the sustainability of it in the long term in Bauchi State?
Okay, thank you very much. So for one, the ASEP project is focusing on senior secondary school education. And unlike other projects that we have in the state or across the country, many are focusing on the lower basic education. And for the first time in history, we're having one that is targeting the senior secondary education. As mentioned by the coordinator in the just report, the senior completion at the level of senior secondary school is actually dwindling. If you look at the indices compared to the population of the junior secondary school and senior secondary school, you notice that there is a gap, because after the junior secondary school, you have the numbers actually reducing. So this project is coming in to support the senior secondary education. One area that is very important, because without senior secondary education, you won't be able to proceed to higher institution. Secondly, this project is targeting on science education, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Unlike others, we have coaching for the science students. Particularly, we want them to excel in the production of the science-oriented programs, in our higher institutions, and then having graduates in the various science-oriented courses such as medicine, engineering, agriculture, you name a few. So this project is quite innovative in a way that it is targeting very focus-oriented, looking at senior secondary education where we have a gap, and then looking at science-oriented courses where we need to have our capacity built in that direction. We need to rebuild our focus on how we improve on education, how we improve on our human capital development. To improve on our economy, we need more doctors, we need more engineers, we need more architects, we need more agri experts that we will produce more based agriculture in our region. So the project is doing very well in that regard, and as said, it's a collaboration of the Office of the Vice President and Northeast Development Commission with state governments in the Northeast region, and it's taking up, alhamdulillah. We have it launched 4 months back, but already we have the review of the facilities because we have selected the centers, 6 centers, 2 each from the senatorial zones, and we have already reviewed the facilities. The state government will complement in this regard, apart from ensuring that we have our science laboratories equipped with necessary facilities to be able to implement this project. The state government is supporting in the areas of scaling this project in the various local governments so that we have more of the centers. For now, we have 2 centers per senatorial zone, and schools are clustered around the centers so that they will also be taking their courses around centers by the Northeast Development Commission. For us, is to
If I get your meaning, is to engender interest in the sciences and be able to produce professionals in the long term for Bauchi State. So very quickly, in recent times, Bauchi State has faced criticism for deteriorating infrastructure in the education sector, particularly in public schools. What plans are in place for a rehabilitation of these infrastructure or the rebuilding of new ones?
Yeah, so already we have mapped out, we have launched the Yobe 2023, 2024, 2021, 2022 grant, and I've already awarded contracts for the renovation of our classrooms, constructions of new classrooms in our existing schools. Through Agile project, we're building 42 new schools, 21 junior secondary schools and 21 senior secondary schools, apart from also renovating all the existing junior and senior secondary schools across the state. Before now, the state government also renovated more than 500 new constructions, classroom constructions, 3 blocks each for many of our senior primary schools and junior secondary schools. As I mentioned also that we need to focus on our laboratories, and I just said that we have reviewed all our existing laboratories in our senior secondary schools. The state government also is complementing in that regard to renovation and providing all the necessary facilities in our science-oriented schools, ensuring that we have equipped them with the necessary facilities to enable learning, effective learning, quality education in our schools. So currently, the state budget is about 16% and of the total budget, and also priority is given on infrastructure.
All right. You have our best wishes, and you're continuing strides to rebuilding the education sector in Bauchi State. We've been speaking with the Commissioner for Education in Bauchi State, Mrs. Jamila Dahiru. Thank you so much for your time.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
In keeping with SDGs Goal 6.1 for water and Goal 6.2 for sanitation, the Gombe State Sustainable Urban and Rural Water Supply, Sanitation and Hygiene Program is partnering with civil society groups in the state to entrench water sanitation and hygiene best practices in the urban, rural, and small towns. At a one-day workshop organized for civil society groups in the state, Gombe Serwash, currently the #1 state in the implementation of the federal government's World Bank-funded Serwash project, is hitting yet another milestone by forming an alliance with a coalition of 300 CSOs to scale up its message for a sustainable water hygiene practice in urban, rural, and small communities in the state. This one-day workshop is organized by the Sustainable Rural and Urban Water Sanitation and Hygiene Program, SURWASH, to equip civil society groups who are working in all the 11 local governments and 114 wards of Gombe State with the right message on water sanitation and better hygiene.
Water can reach every angle and every corner, and it will help transforming our various communities.
Gombe SURWASH believes that a local government-wide inclusive sanitation approach will result in social behavioral change in water sanitation and hygiene.
But without changing behavior, no matter how tight and effective or fashion toilet that you construct, at the end of the day, we remain where we are. So the key message is for us to change our behavior positively, to stop defecating in an open place in order to achieve open defecation, state and the nation at wide.
The belief is that gender mainstreaming will make it easier to fully involve women and girls in water sanitation and hygiene.
If you look at the female gender, you realize that they relate with water much more than the male gender. So in that regard, they have so much information to share during decision regarding site selection, regarding the quality of the water, regarding many other important issues that has to do with water supply and sanitation. So that is why when you key in them in decision, that will enhance the quality of activity you are going to carry out.
As mothers, you know that we have a lot. Maybe going from house to house, which the men might be handicapped to do. As we discuss, we chat, we talk, just on a lighter mood, you just chip in this. And when you see a child defecating anyhow, you say, this thing, maybe that's the cause of what happened to us in the past in terms of maybe all these communicable diseases.
The training provides an opportunity for the cross-fertilization of ideas that water managers and the coalition of civil society groups are eager to activate after the training.
You can get a quantity of water, but how are you going to utilize it over a period of time? You see, it's what matters. That is why we are calling attention of our society, even those in the villages. So you see, even if you supply water, they don't develop the habit of storing that water.
I'm sure that our members, civil society in Gombe State that are here in the workshop are going to learn, and we are going to cascade everything we learn here to our communities, to our members.
Meanwhile, the Inuwa Yahya administration promises to continue to champion the cause of increased access to the supply of safe drinking water in the nooks and crannies of Gombe State. And to Yobe State now, where government says it has made progress against maternal deaths and malnutrition in children. The Commissioner for Health, represented by the Director, Dr. Hawa Lare Goni, disclosed this at the project closeout for FH1 360 Alive and Thrive in Damaturu, the state capital.
FHI 360, with specific reference to the Alive and Thrive project, has worked in Yobe State supporting the maternal, infant, and young child nutrition. They've supported the state government in implementing our nutrition projects. We have health facility based and community based. The health facility base is mostly care, case management when people are already sick with malnutrition. But at the community level, we emphasize on the preventive aspect, educating community members, families, community engagement, focal person, religious leaders, traditional leaders on the things that cause malnutrition. Sometimes it's not just the absence of the nutrient or food itself, but inability to prepare it well. Sometimes you don't even know that this particular food item has this kind of nutrition, and you end up selling it just to go and be buying medicine and drugs and food supplements. That's the community component. So they've supported us in the community awareness on the prevention aspect. And in the case of clinical care, they've also supported us in the training of health workers, doctors, nurses, midwives, and other community health workers at both the secondary and the primary healthcare facilities.
The Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Mr. Adewale Adeniyi, has declared that the service will not relent or shy away from its responsibility as provided within the laws of the country. The Customs Boss made this known during a media briefing held at the headquarters of the Nigeria Customs Service in Adamawa Taraba Command, Yola in Adamawa State. According to the Comptroller General, Operation Whirlwind is a strategic initiative aimed at curbing smuggling of fuel across the country's borders.
Operation Whirlwind, launched in collaboration with the Office of the National Security Advisor, continues to make strides in curbing the illegal exportation of petroleum products. Our ongoing operations have recorded substantial seizures in various locations, including the northwest borders in the axis of Sokoto and Kebbi, the southwest borders around Semebadagri and Idiroko, the south-south borders in Cross River and Akwa Ibom states. We call on all the residents of Adamawa and all other border states to support this operation. Your vigilance and cooperation are crucial in our collective effort to safeguard our nation's resources and ensure that the benefits of fuel price deregulation are fully realized by all Nigerians.
And that's it on the program. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again next week with another round of editions covering many regions of the country. I am Bukola Koka. Bye for now.